Welcome everyone to our community meetup, IGEL Community Meetup. I know we see a lot of new faces today because we saw some questions in our IGEL community regarding Stratodesk, and we thought, hey, let's use the chance and answer those sessions, give everyone an introduction of our great customer experience department, and in the end also have a live demo where you can also raise your questions. So my name is René Recker. I'm community evangelist for IGEL technology. I'm going a little bit deeper in my way I had already with IGEL. But before we start, we have the chance that you can chat with each other. But also, if you have a question, please use the question and answer field. Those questions going directly to us, and we can pick them. We try to answer all questions today. If we cannot answer your question, please make sure you come to the IGEL community. As I said, we have a Stratodesk channel there. You can raise every question you want, and we help you there. But more to the community, I think Sebastian will handle when we come there. From the agenda-wise, I'm doing now the welcome and agenda piece. Then I hand over to Irfan Kushid, who's doing a little introduction to CX. Sabina Notar-Finney doing the renewal and customer success piece. Advanced services is covered by Jason, support by Sustato. Then the IGEL community and knowledge base is covered by Sebastian Perusa. We have a fantastic education team in the IGEL Academy, which is covered by Ed Webster. And in the end, probably the most of you know him. Rich Severson is doing the demo part together with the one and only Ivan Krolchak. So a lot of things we covered today, and I don't want to waste time, but I can say this will be a really, really cool meetup today. So to my IGEL journey, and it also relates a little bit to the introduction we do today with the customer experience. I started 2014 as a pre-sales engineer and really fast moved over to the manager pre-sales for EMEA. And since then, there were one question for me and my teams. How can we help to create a great user experience? Back then the day, 2014, 2019, we had a small pre-sales team who covered everything. We did partner training, on-site support, consulting, name it. We were there, but we saw at a point that it wasn't scalable. So 2019, a great guy called Irfan Kushid came into the company and asked me, hey, do you want to build advanced services in EMEA for me? As we starting to grow a customer experience department out of the scratch. So I said, yeah, well, this sounds pretty cool. And for the next 4 years, I was director of advanced services EMEA. And that was the part where we really set up a really cool environment, a really great team. I think we were a handful back in the days, and later you hear from Irfan where we are today. And in 2023, I had the chance to become global community evangelist because now since nearly 7 years, we're having a great community. As I said, you hear about this a little bit later with, nearly 14,000 members, really active. So if you have any questions, come there. But I'm sure Sebastian is covering this. And from my side, I'm moderating this today. And I would say the goals for today, I want to showcase the great value of IGEL CX, or we want to showcase the great value. We want to introduce you the right context, so you know who to contact and saw a face initially. We want to run a basic demo of IGEL UMS, answering the open questions, and this is really important because we're doing those meetups in a monthly way. So if we have any topics you are interested in, we can define further deep dives. We can define videos we create or meetups or blogs, whatever. We have many chances. So I really hope you enjoyed today. And the first guy who's presenting this, as I already highlighted him, is Irfan Kushid, Chief Customer Experience Officer, right, Irfan?
Thank you, Renee. Good morning, good afternoon. Good evening, depending based on where everyone is on. Super excited to see all of you. And as Renee mentioned, my name is Irfan Khurshid. I'm IGEL's Chief Customer Success Officer. I'm very thrilled to personally welcome you all. I see a lot of familiar names on the webinar and a lot of new names as well, which is really exciting to see. As you guys see, Rich Sevenson is on the panel presenting with us today. Rich is a good friend, a fantastic resource, and a leader. Rich and I worked together, Rich, I would say, what, a few moons ago, 10 plus years ago. And
yeah,
and
don't age us too much.
And I am super excited to have been working with Rich again and the extended Stratodesk team. So a lot of familiar name. And as Renee pointed out, our number one priority is to make sure we are continuing the great support and services you have received from Rich and the extended Stratodesk team. So from the, obviously, as we integrate the team, our number one priority is to make the transition as smooth and we be as supportive as possible for you, for your teams, and for your business, right? So we deeply value the trust you have placed in Stratodesk, and we're very appreciative, and we're very excited to extend that relationship through our combined expertise, dedicated resource, which you're going to hear from the extended leadership team in a few minutes, and service commitment. So from seamless migration support, that is obviously our number one priority, to make sure we're helping you in every step of the way without any interruptions. So what you can expect from the wider CX team and the leadership team on this call, including Rich, dedicated support throughout your transition and beyond. And based on where you are, we have obviously dedicated resource aligned throughout the globe. Clear communication on our product and platform updates, so you know what to expect. And if there is any help needed around the technical size, upgrade, migrations, moving over to IGEL platform, that help has been lined up. And you're going to hear from these leaders today from respective teams. And then personalized guidance. You're going to hear from Jason McCallum and a few of our other leaders on this call, where we will be reaching out to you because we understand each customer, each partner could have a different workflow based on your use case. So our help and our services group is tailored to align with your goals and workflow. And if you have any questions or urgent needs, obviously our team is ready to help. And like I said earlier, the most importantly, Rich and team, the teams that you have been working with in the past, familiar with, they are here, and we're really excited to work with all of them. So thank you again for joining us on this journey. We look forward to building a successful future together. And you're going to hear from the extended team as well. Thanks to everyone again, and over to you, Renee.
This is awesome. Thank you, Irfan. Next speaker is Sabina. She's our VP of Global Renewals and Customer Retention. So at some point, you probably will talk to her or our team. Sabina, would you present what you can offer to our customer base?
Yes, happy to. I see lots of technical questions, so I'm going to take you a little bit off the technical route just for the first slide. But then I think, we will dive into kind of like more technical issues. So I'm with IGEL since 2020. I have a team of renewal reps who are currently very busy trying to figure out who are all the customers and trying to get you guys the ability to have your hands on IGEL licenses as soon as possible. So from a Stratodesk conversion to IGEL perspective, to start this journey with us, you obviously need to obtain some IGEL licenses, which you can do by converting your existing Stratodesk maintenance support subscriptions to IGEL. You can transact this conversion transaction as early as you want, right? It's not necessarily tied to what your current expiration date is. It's even, I would say, encouraged that you kind of like get to IGEL licenses earlier than later. And you don't need to be worried about any kind of commercial impact. We will not double charge you for any term investment you've already made in Stratodesk in terms of where your current maintenance subscription lies. What that conversion transaction will do is it will give you access to IGEL licenses right away. And it will also include what we call a grace period. We don't want to, force somebody immediately off the Strato platform at all. So you do have time. I know it takes time to, get plans together and migrate. So there is a 6 months at least Stratodesk dual use entitlement that you get with these licenses. So you pretty much have access to your Stratodesk licenses support as you have in the past. And at the same time, you can start your IGEL journey. My team is responsible for these renewals or conversions, if you will. So for any customers, partners out there that have questions in that regard, here is the contact email. And I also want to mention two very, very special people. They are right now tied to the hip with my team, Steve Thompson and Harald Wittek. So both of them are working very, very closely with my team right now, have probably already reached out to some of you to start these conversion discussions. And I'm very grateful they are, part of our team now and provide us all this insight to better support you. So that's one part. And then the second part, I also want to introduce you, next slide, please, to what we call IGEL Customer Success Team. So that is a team that is available to Stratos customers as well. As soon as you are kind of like entering your IGEL journey, they are resources that you can utilize for, onboarding questions, migration questions, workflow use cases. They are not necessarily the people that will, I always say, turn the knobs for you, but there are people who have technical background that can help ask questions, of which many questions I kind of see in the chat. So if you're not getting to answer the questions today, there are the two email aliases that these people are, responding to. Anybody can pretty much access them and utilize them as an additional resource on top of support and on top of advanced services, which two of my colleagues will talk later about.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is really important because I think not only on the technical side, we have a lot of touch points we can offer to our customer base. And the next point, as I told everyone, I was the director of Advanced Services in EMEA, and I worked a lot with Jason McCallum, who is was my counterpart in the US. And we spent a lot of work into creating the team where we are today. I think we have globally more than 50 people, 50 service specialists who are there to helping you also to answer your questions and help you to make a smooth transition if you're interested. So Jason, over to you.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity to speak to everybody. Yeah, so my job is to make sure that your transition from Stratodesk to IGEL is successful, making sure that your business is able to continue operating. We'll start that, with a migration plan. We'll go over basically discovering how you're using Stratodesk today, design a IGEL solution for you. We'll come up with an implementation and migration plan for you guys. There's testing involved, functionality and validation. And obviously, along the way, we'll be doing knowledge transfer. If you can go to the next slide.
Yes.
So the way that we can do this is a multitude of ways. We have technical relationship managers, which I'll go to talk about a little bit more in a second, and also consulting engagements with statement of work projects. But if you want to do this on your own and go through the validation process early, there's obviously tons of ways to migrate from IGEL, or I'm sorry, from Stratodesk to IGEL. And we've documented them very well on our KB. So there is a OS Creator, which is basically a thumb drive you can plug into your Stratodesk device. It'll basically install IGEL OS, and then once it reboots, it'll onboard itself into the Universal Management Suite, or UMS. We also have SCCM add-ons So if you're a big SCCM shop and you like using Pixie through SCCM, that's another great way to onboard or convert devices and then onboard them. There's also deployment appliances that we have that also use Pixie. And then coming soon, there's going to be a zero-touch OS installation that you can deploy through Stratodesk Zero Touch, and it'll basically allow you to install IGEL OS, the base OS, and then again, once it reboots, it'll onboard itself into the UMS. Notated below, there are email addresses. You're free to reach out to us, ask questions. Advanced Services-NA is my team. Advanced Services EMEA at IGEL is the EMEA team. So that's Lino over in EMEA. And again, happy to answer any questions you have. Want you to feel comfortable with this transition. Let's go to the next slide. And then lastly, I just wanted to give you a little idea of the Technical Relationship Manager, what that is. It's a dedicated resource that you can use at your company. You can reach them by cell phone, email. They'll help you with this transition from Stratodesk to IGEL, but it's a 1-year subscription. And so throughout the year, they'll do maintenance for you guys, like upgrading to the new UMS or upgrading to new versions of IGEL OS. They're very in tune also with what's going on with other deployments. So if they see bugs, they can include you and let you know what's going on with specific versions. Or if there's security risks, CVEs that come out, they can let you know a good plan for those. They're also really good at expansion opportunities. So if you have ideas of how to expand your footprint of IGEL OS, they can work with you on that as well. Now, if you want to get a little more granular and have just a statement of work project done, we also have consulting team that can basically scope what you want done and will provide you a plan on attacking that. So lots of ways to help you out, and hopefully we can do so. And back to you, Renee.
Thank you very much. Especially the technical relationship manager was a game changer when we introduced this, as we offered the dedicated resource to our customers, and the feedback was amazing. The renew rates showed that the customer loved this. But yeah, I'm really proud of what we did there and what we created, and about the offering we have at the moment. Thank you very much, Jason.
Absolutely.
So. Talking also about the support. Back in the days when I started with IGEL, it was a little bit chaotic, but also with the introduction of the customer experience department, we created more level of the support and created a real enterprise level support team and organization. So Snato, over to you.
Lovely. Thank you, Renee. So the team, as far as IGEL Support is concerned, we primarily based out of, globally, we're providing follow-the-sun support. But as far as assistance provided to Stratodesk customers are concerned, before you migrate over to IGEL, we're here to ensure that you get all the support that you need. So please continue to reach out to Stratodesk through your regular means, right? And email them at support@stratodesk.com and reach out to them for any assistance that you need on Stratodesk while you migrate to IGEL. But once you have migrated or converted to IGEL, we welcome you to an enterprise level support organization where we are spread across the globe, where the first footprint of the door to the world of IGEL support is through support.igel.com. We welcome all our customers to register on the portal through which you're able to manage your support contracts. Slowly and steadily, you should be able to manage licensing and other facets of your IGEL infrastructure as well. But till then, we strongly encourage you to reach out to either to the likes of Rich, to whom you have been reaching out historically until now, Jonas as well, who are proudly member of the IGEL team right now, but we're working very closely to ensure that we have integrated Stratodesk support into the world of IGEL support, and you don't lose out on anything else, rather you gain a lot more. to help you understand how IGEL Support is structured. Around, if you could move to the next slide, please. So we were primarily based out of a few regions in the past. As some of you may be aware, we were in Germany and in Reading and also in Americas. But as we scaled towards being an enterprise organization over the last few years, we have spread our wings almost everywhere. We have teams right now in Bucharest, in Romania. We have teams, we have expanded not just from San Francisco in Americas, but we have offices in Fort Lauderdale. We have teams in APAC, Sydney, Australia. There's teams in Asia, Middle East. If we have a customer out there, we have ensured that we stick close to our customers, and we pride ourselves in providing a follow-the-sun 24/7 support. And we are not talking about reaching out to an AI or reaching out to a tool that's giving you automated responses, but dependent on the contract that you have with IGEL, we ensure that we have an engineer reach out to you at the earliest and provide you with any assistance that you need. But like I mentioned earlier, you can engage with the IGEL support team through the IGEL customer support portal, which is support.igel.com. Or you could reach out to your regular contacts at Stratodesk, who could very well help you to ensure that your journey to IGEL is as smooth as possible. Rene, thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much for the great overview. The next point will be the technical publications and the community. And as I said, this is something we built 6.5 years, nearly 7 years ago. Sebastian was one of the first influencer in the community and stepped out from the SE to the VP of the community and the technical pub team, and will give you an overview about our great offering here.
Thank you very much, Rene, for the warm introduction. So most of you already know in community, as you know, there wasn't a Stratodesk community based on Slack. We have now about 13,000 members in our own community. So if you're not part of it, please join us, because you will get the same experience as you would do on an on-site event. You talk to people who are using the solution and trying to help each other without wanting to sell anything. So it's really kind of the warm feeling you are getting on trade fairs. So if you're not part of it yet, please join us on join.igelcommunity.com or on scanning the QR code. I promise you will not have to buy anything, just register and it's for free. So please join us there. And especially for our Stratodesk users and members, we have a separate channel, which is called -IGEL-Stratodesk, where we will try to answer as much as possible questions around the product, how to use features in the new world. So please, if you have anything that we cannot provide now during the webinar, please post it there, because if we can't answer it, we will take it over and discuss it with the people at IGEL and hopefully deliver an answer. Next.
Yeah, so the community is really, I think you get an answer sometimes within 10 minutes. So if you're sitting in Bavaria and Germany and raising questions in the nighttime because you woke up and found out, oh, how do I find a solution for this? Maybe somewhere else on the other side of the world, someone is helping you. So really would like to see you also in the IGEL community. But what I also would like to see you is at our event Now Next. So we had this Now Next event in the US earlier in Miami. We had more than 1,000 people there. It was fantastic. And for the technical guys that are sitting in EMEA and also anywhere else in the world, if you like to join, we do our EMEA version of the Now Next in Frankfurt in November. So we're having more than 25 on-site technical sessions. There are community sessions, deep dives, trainings. We have discussion rounds with a bunch of all vendors from our ecosystem. So it's not about IGEL, it's about really the EOC and security space coming together, and you come in there and can talk to all your vendors you're using, or maybe also to new vendors. They have solutions you're planning or you're interested in. So you can meet all the experts there. And if you like, we have a community stage and we like to bring people on the stage. So if you want to speak, maybe also from your conversion from Stratodesk to IGEL at some point, we invite you also to step on the stage and tell about it. I have another reason to join the community. So come in the community, join there, drop me a message if you're interested to come to Frankfurt, and we raffle some free tickets for the event. I think at the moment ticket is 300 euros, and if you're interested in coming, come to the community, shoot me a direct message and let me know that you're interested. And another way, a little bit smaller, but also we have a road tour at the moment. You see all the cities we are there. It's a little bit smaller, 50 to 100 attendees, I would say. But we also have some partners there showcasing our solution and our capability of what we can do. You can talk to the people, to the local people. So if you're interested, check out our homepage and see if a city near you could fit. That would be great. Sebastian, back to you.
Thank you very much. So as you know, the IGEL community is based on Slack, but we have a lot of other services we're delivering to you guys. So René mentioned it. This kind of meetup we are facing right now is something that we are doing on a monthly base and on demand if we see that there is a topic raising up as the Stratodesk migration topic. So we are trying to deliver as much as possible information to our community. Please next. So after gathering IDs and meetup IDs, we are also wanting to get your feedback and trying to make our product better. Therefore, we have a tool which is called ids.igelcommunity.com, where you can enter anonymously or with your own credentials IDs about how to make the product better, like getting IGEL in pink, which in my opinion shouldn't be proposed that often, but if it's something that you need urgently, you can enter it there, and over that tool you can also upvote and downvote all the features that people might have. The thing is that we are then bringing back this information back to our product management, without saying that we will try to implement everything, but at least we will bring back that information together with other customers back to our product management to have a chance to implement it. Next, please. Then, as you know, and as some products on the market are trying to cover a lot of different hardwares, we have certified hardware at IGEL, which is the IGEL Ready program. But we all know that we have so much different hardware levels in the crowd that we can't cover everything from an IGEL Ready perspective. But if you are the customer or partner or distributors, you are testing day in, day out different hardwares with the IGEL RES operating system, you can give us feedback about, hey, I tested this specific piece of hardware with IGEL OS 12 version 12.701. It worked, but Wi-Fi wasn't working. So if you want to share this with the community, please use this URL, which is basically saying hardware compatibility list, and then others will profit from the experience. Next. We are also offering early access programs to new software. So it's not a really so-called beta program. We are more opening the doors to new features. So as soon as we launch a new product, a new update, and we need to get your feedback, if you're part of the IGEL community, we can integrate you in existing early access programs where you can test the software, give feedback, and get your hands, let's say, quite early on the product without having to wait for the general announcement. Next, please. As soon as you will get your hand on the Slack client, you will see that there is a lot of channels. We try to keep them as small as possible. But as we have a lot of partners in our ecosystem, we also have partner-related channels, which are obviously not available to everyone because we do not want to spam you with publicity. But if you're interested in specific topics of specific hardware or software vendors we are working on, just search for TP, meaning technology partner, minus a name in the channel list, and then you will find channels you can subscribe. Next one. And then we are mostly clothing the community topic. We are having an insider program, which is also known as VIP program, where we are rewarding and nominating people who helped a lot in the community program and giving them specific swag, access to the now and next event on cost-free base, and also giving NDA information that you would not get in the general community. So if you want to get an insider, drop me a message on Slack. I will be happy to see what we can do. Thank you very much, René. Next. And then the last two topics, as I'm covering the technical publication as well. You all know kb.stratodesk.com, but we have our kb.igel.com knowledge base. And we have around 50,000 articles around the different areas of the tool, which is important for you to know. We have a version picker that you can choose to check different version and the new features based on that version. We are also having different languages. For the moment, mostly EN, but we are translating slowly to all the languages, SDE, French, Spanish, and so on. And if you have the feeling that something is inaccurate or isn't helping you as expected, please use the feedback button at the bottom of each page, because that's where we can get better and get your feedback. So URL is there. If you need anything else, just scan the QR code. It will bring you directly to the knowledge base. And then last little nugget, next one, please. Every knowledge base is having a search integration, and sometimes it's quite difficult to find content. We all know this, and I'm fine with it, at least from an AI perspective, because now that we introduced the Ask AI feature, if you enter something in the search bar, you can always ask AI, click Ask AI, and it will deliver to you a summarized version of all the information based on knowledge base. So if you didn't try it out until now, give it a try. It will definitely help you to find what you're looking for. And if not, again, I'm there and happy to help if something is missing. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Sebastian. The last piece before we come to the demo is Ed Webster. And Ed Webster is also here from the beginning of the CX department. And as we showed you, we're having the services, we have the support, we have a community, we have a knowledge base, many ways to come to IGEL, to find IGEL help. But we have something really special, world-class education team, and Ed Webster is telling you what we can offer here. Ed, over to you.
All right, very good. Well, nice to meet you all. And I just wanted to first say that I understand that as an educator, right, one of the things that's very difficult is when you are looking at a new technology, it feels like as the information comes in, and this webinar is probably no exception, it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose, right? It's just not fun. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a look at a way that you can start to consume information about IGEL that can be a little easier to consume, a bit of a snack instead of eating a whole meal. So go to the next slide there. Let me tell you about IGEL Academy. So this is our LMS, our learning management system. It's learn.igel.com. It's free to register, and it's also free to take some of the courses there. And some of them are really important. If you're a customer or a prospect, you're going to want to look at the IGEL Foundations, which is a fantastic course to get you kind of ramped up on IGEL and just to understand the company. But the real technical stuff comes in with the certification courses. The certification courses that you can take for free there are the IGEL Certified Professional, or ICP, and the IGEL Certified Cloud Professional, or the ICCP. And which one you're going to take depends on whether you're going to be using our full version of the UMS or whether you're going to be using our UMS as a service. And that's what the Cloud Professional is for. It kind of skips the installation and such, which you're not going to be doing with that part of the product. But if you would like to go further with your training, then we have something called IGEL Academy Premium. Now, this is a one-time cost per person, and you get access, whoever gets assigned to gets access to our premium training for the rest of their lives, as far as I'm concerned. It's like you can keep on coming back, and as long as we come out with new versions of our premium stuff, you get it. Right? It's non-transferable, so you can't transfer it to somebody else. If you leave the company, you get to keep it when you leave your company, right? So that's the way we work that. And we have the engineer course, the architect course, and we have a lot of supplemental courses as well. And go to the next one. Now, as we move away from the instructor-led, or we go to instructor-led training away from the on-site, away from the IGEL Academy, we have on-site training that you can buy to have like a big kind of party learning about IGEL. You can have up to 15 students with this. It preps you for the ICP, the ICE, and the ICA exams. And we make sure that all the students have access to the exams for those. And then, of course, you, if anybody within the course that wants to get IGEL Academy Premium for life, they can get a discount for that. So anyway, on-site training, something that if you have enough people, might make sense for you. Just want to talk to your rep about that. Very good. That's pretty much what I had here. Yeah, you can skip that. That's just to tell you why you would want.
This is fantastic. I can also invite everyone to do a training. So if you're hearing the smooth voice of Mike Varroch, it's fantastic. So I really like our online trainings and in general our education team. Thank you, Ed. So coming now to the final part, our demo. As I introduced in the beginning, we have Ivan Kruchek, who's also here in the company a long time on my side. So great guy. You have Rich Severson, who probably most of you know, and I would stop sharing and give it over to Ivan now.
And Ivan, before you jump in, so guys, I want to say to everybody, first of all, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable in the fact that knowing that Stratodesk OS is never going to stop working. So that's important that everybody knows that. Also, I will tell you that from Ed's perspective regarding the IGEL Academy, obviously I was surprised by this merger as everybody else was. I've now been with IGEL, I think I'm on week 5. I think the IGEL Academy has been tremendous, certainly for me. As mentioned, it is a fire hose, but the material that's available has been tremendous and huge benefit. And I'm looking forward to working with the rest of the IGEL team. Regarding the Q&A, there's been a lot of questions. If I don't get them answered during the webinar, we'll definitely follow up with them. I know there's a lot of you that have asked questions, so obviously I'll have access to this information. We'll make sure we get back to you before the end of the day. But the one thing that I want to share with everybody, again, everybody's known me for years, and this was a huge surprise to me as well. But I will tell you, having worked with the IGEL technology that I have in the 5 weeks, I think the joint technology solution, the merger between Stratodesk and IGEL, is going to be a huge benefit to the customers and to the Linux desktop operating system environment in general. I mean, between what we brought and of course all of our technical team. So a lot of you mentioned Johannes, Johnny, Ryan, everybody's moved over, everybody's going with the team. I think this is going to be a real exciting time for everybody. So with that, Ivan, I'll let you turn it over to you and let you do the demo. So by the way, guys, again, I think this technology merger is going to be fantastic. So
yeah, thank you, Rich. So guys, so for you, you don't have a feeling that you need to drink or you're drinking from the fire hose. I will try to explain actually, what IGEL is all about and how you can actually quickly set up your demo environment and start testing the IGEL OS and see, what are the use cases, what is working, what needs to be improved, can you transfer everything easily to IGEL OS world, and then move forward with migration. Of course, if you have any Stratodesk question or you want to compare Stratodesk with IGEL, ping Rich, ping me, and then we can answer that question, right? One thing that I also, and Rich did answer that question, a lot of you are using Raspberry Pis and computing devices and so on, so forth. They are ARM-based CPUs. IGEL OS 11 and 12. 12 is our current version of the operating system. Does not support ARM. We are, x86 type of the OS. Now the ARM support is right now in the works, right? So we're focused always on the proper, endpoint devices that have capability to offload, video and audio from the sessions, from the Citrix, from AVD, and so on and so forth. That's why our focus was never completely on the ARM, on the Raspberry Pi, for example. On OS 11, we had that support. With OS 12, we don't have it yet, but there is something that we are working on. Right? The other VPN questions, I will talk a little bit on it during some of the demo portions of the session. Right now, what you can see on your window is this is just my background on the UMS server. Is what is IGEL all about, right? On the bottom of the screen, you can see IGEL OS 12 devices. And those are devices that our end customers or our end users are using. And on the top of the screen, you have UMS server, with Web Console. There is a database attached to the UMS server, so the database is really important because every information is stored there. We have the IGEL application portal, so that is cloud-based solution which is hosted by IGEL, where our applications for OS 12 are being stored, and all of your devices or UMS server can fetch those applications and install them to your devices, right? And also we have a licensing portal, which will then license your devices. Again, applications can come directly from the application portal. Like when you are updating your apps on your mobile phone, you are connected to Google Play or Apple Store, or you can actually import binaries or send those binaries to the UMS servers locally, so the locally can be downloaded. Now, so the devices can locally download those binaries from the UMS server. I always get a start conversation with the Stratodesk customers. They're asking me, so is the UMS server actually some kind of a cloud offering only? No. So UMS server is actually an installation that you can run everywhere. You can run it on-prem VPN, you can run it on your VPN that is on the cloud, you can run it on Linux machine, you can run it on the Windows machine, or you can opt for the UMS as a service option that we have. How you will get the installations for the UMS server and for the IGEL devices, it's easy to get. One thing before I forget, regarding the network part, OS 12 devices are communicating with the UMS server over the WebSocket 8443 port. Of course, it can be changed to 443 port. So this is the only communication what is happening between devices and the UMS server. Once the device establish the connection to the UMS server, all the traffic, the updates, the shadowing, and so on and so forth, are going through that tunnel, right? So every single device will open separate WebSocket port to the UMS server. Again, is the UMS server on-prem in your data center, in your Azure, AWS cloud, with some kind of express route or VPN or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? As long as you can connect maybe even from your home office devices through the reverse proxy to your UMS server, you can manage those devices. Okay, so the question is how I can get those installations, right? The fastest way to do that is to go to support.igel.com. Even without a login, there is software, a download section, which you can easily click to, and then the igel.com/software download website will appear, right? So it does look a little bit busy, but two things that you need to focus on. OS 12 base system, this is the installation for your operating system. So when you download that, you can install OS on your VM, or you can create the installation media, USB installation media to convert some of the devices, or even to run on the VM in your VMware, right? The second important part is IGEL Management Suite. So this is our UMS server. Currently, it is 12.08 version. But as you can see, even if you're running Linux machines in your environment, you can download the bin file as well, right? And we support a lot of flavors of the Linux, and they are all listed in the kb.igel.com. Again, there is no OVA that you can import some kind of appliance to your environment. It is actually the installation. Why we decided to do that? Because maintaining the OVAs was always a little bit, I wouldn't say hard, but we always had a conversation with customer support team, and then we were back and forth updating those appliances. We decided to go with installation, and that's it. Installation is quite simple. When you download a file, You just run the exe and go through the installation, next finish, and that's it, right? For the initial small installation for the test environment, you can always put the database on the VM where you will run the UMS server. It is a patch Derby database that will be created during the installation, so you don't need to have any licenses for the database and so on and so forth. It is part of the installation. Now, what would I recommend for the UMS server for the hardware size? I would say maybe 4 vCPUs, 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, enough disk space, maybe 100 gigabytes of disk space would be enough to have everything on the one device. And that environment can support up to 5,000 or even 10,000 devices. Right? UMS standard installation with the embedded database. That means that the database will be set up on the same virtual machine, go through the installation, and that's it. For the small environment, there is no need for any special licenses and so on and so forth. If you opt to have database on the virtual machine or on the same server, it will work out of the box. And this is the great way to test the IGEL environment, right? So I will not go through the whole installation because I did install the UMS server on my VM. The second part of the story is how to install or how to get the IGEL OS on the device, right? When you download from our download website, right? When you download the IGEL OS 12 base system, you can, when you unzip the file, you will have application and ISO file, right? Application prepare stick.exe, you can actually convert any USB key to be able to actually have bootable OS 12 installation. You can also use your Rufuses or whatever DDs or whatever you are accustomed to use in the past to create bootable USB drives, but for you not to need to download all of that additional applications, Prepare Stick is a good tool to create IGEL installation, right? If you opt to install IGEL OS on the VM, then just simply use the ISO file that is in that zip file, and then you can go through the wizard of IGEL OS installation. And the wizard is quite simple, when it boots up from the USB or from the ISO, next finish, and you have IGEL OS installed on the device. So that's the basic installation. With that, we have our UMS server up and running. So this one, and we have our devices up and running. Now, what we need to do, we need to establish this connection and this connection as well, right? Those are the important components. So how we can, when you're done with the installation, next step would be to register that device, or maybe you can go and register your UMS server with our customer portal, so you can get the access to IGEL application portal. Without registering UMS server to our customer portal, your UMS will not be able to talk to our IGEL application portal. Why is this important? Because OS 12 is not firmware, right? We don't have like 45 applications crammed into one big file. OS 12, IGEL OS, is the operating system, and additional applications will come from our store or directly from the UMS server, right? So once you are done with the installation, I will quickly just go through or show you how to register UMS to a customer portal. And to know more, there is a really great free course on IGEL Academy, IGEL ICP course. that everybody can, after the registration to IGEL Academy, can take that course and go a little bit slower and in depth with through the IGEL installation steps and a little bit more in depth explanation what is going on through all of those services. Right? But for the sake of this, quick demo, what you need to do, you need to go back to support.igel.com, hit the register button if you didn't register already. If you have account on the IGEL support, just log in to the support portal and then use the UMS registration so you can register your UMS ID. How you will get your UMS ID? It's quite a simple process. When you are done with UMS installation, you will get actually two consoles, right? One console is web console, where you will spend web management console, where you will spend a lot of time, creating the profiles, managing the applications, devices, so on and so forth. There is also a Java console that is still being in use for some of the configurations. And from the Java console, you will get that UMS ID. So that's quite simple when you log into to the Java console. Even you go to UMS administration part, UMS ID, just export that file. It is simple certificate that is generated during the UMS installation. Go back to that portal, hit the UMS registration button, upload that certificate, and you are done. With that simple workflow, you are actually saying that your UMS, because you are registered IGEL customer, can actually go to the IGEL application portal, download the necessary applications, create the profiles, and so on and so forth for your devices. So now what we have is the management software, right? Management platform. We have our devices because we use the ISO file to convert our devices to IGEL OS. How you will manage them? So the first thing that when you log in to our management system, it will look like this, right? And to register your devices, it is quite a simple task. When you go to the device side, you can, let me log in there. When you go to your devices side, you can hit your scan button and you can scan devices that are locally on your network, right? So as long as the device is on the network and that reach of the UMS server, on your network can recognize the IGEL devices, they will show up in the console with the already managed no value, right? After that, it's quite easy. You just mark the device. You can put it in a special folder if you want, and that's it, right? The registration, the certificate, everything is sent to the device, right? After successful registration, device will be managed through the UMS server. Now, also, what you can do, you can also register that device if you are sitting in front of the device. There is a wizard when you power on the IGEL OS 12 device for the first time. You can go through that wizard even without registering to the UMS server, right? But then you will need to manage that device without, it can't scale, right? You will need to manage device by device. So in theory, OS 12 or IGEL OS can work without the UMS server. Not only that, if your device is licensed, and by the way, when you are in that wizard, there is an option to request the demo license for 90 days, right? So in the wizard, you can just register your device with our service, and it will automatically download the license file that will be valid for the 90 days. If you even don't do that, there is a starter license built in every new IGEL OS, IGEL 12 device, freshly installed, and the starter license is valid for 1 month, right? So When you install your IGEL device, you can register to the UMS. You don't need to if you don't want to, if you just want to test what IGEL OS is about. But the important thing is the license file. When you have the license file on your device, you can open the IGEL application portal locally on the device as well and install the licenses that are that you want to test, right? And then create the profiles locally. Now, because we are in the IT, we don't want to do that. We want to have our management URL or our management website, and we want to manage all of our devices from the one single place. This is where the UMS is for, right? Again, after we register our first device, it is time maybe to put some configuration, some profiles, and even send some of the applications. What applications are available? You can always check in IGEL application portal, app.igel.com, right? Update of the IGEL operating system, and you can also see the size of every application, right? Maybe you need AVD, maybe you need Omnisa, maybe you need Citrix, maybe you need some of the VPNs. If they are available, then you can just simply import them to the web UMS. When you import them, when you import the application, the libraries can also stay on the application portal, right? So the devices will get the libraries from the application portal, or they can be transferred locally to your UMS servers as well. So devices can download the new applications from the UMS server. It all depends of how do you want to manage that relationship, right? Nevertheless, when you import the application from the application portal, they will end up in the application or in the apps section of the UMS server, and you can see them, and they are all in the special category as well, right? Now, okay, we do have application, we do have our device, but our device isn't configured at all, right? So how are we sending application to the device, and how we are configuring the settings on the device? So that's done in the configuration section, and we are all of those settings or those registry keys, we call them profiles, right? So when you create or you want to create a new profile, you will just create, you will start with the profile wizard and then choose the application that you want to set some profiles on. For example, in my case, I can do, I want to install I don't know, Edge web browser on it. So I will choose my my application, and then I will go to with some basic stuff, right? Let's create a new session. Edge browser. I want to icon on the my my taskbar. I want to icon on the desktop as well, and so on and so forth. Maybe I want to configure the startup page and so on and so forth, right? The basic configurations, or even a little bit in-depth configuration for my Edge web browser can be done during with the profile, right? Once the profile is created, you can just simply assign that profile to our device, and our device will get the profile, and also it will get the appropriate application that configuration is created for, right? So if I go back to my device that I did register to my UMS server, and I can also shadow to that to one of my device. As you can see, this is almost a blank OS 12 device. I did hide a couple of icons from the toolbar, and that's it. And if you hit the information button, we can see that there are no installed there are no installed applications, right? But if I assign my new created profile to that device, then the device or devices will get the info that the application or the profile is assigned. They will start with the download process, and they will get that Edge application. Now, if you didn't assign to the whole directory, right? If you assign to one specific device, then only the specific device will get that new application. Once the download is complete, device will reboot itself, and then we will after the reboot, and this is why my terminal window actually is down, because device went to reboot phase just to activate the new application with those settings. Rich, are there any questions? Is this a little bit different than from the way that the people been used to configure devices? Will this be hard? I don't think so.
No, it's just different. I mean, obviously, the difference between No Touch Center and UMS is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I think one of the key advantages is the application portal, right? Because certainly with Stratodesk, we used extensions that were managed by us. I think the advantage of using the application portal is the fact that they're managed by the actual vendors themselves. So the compatibility expansion and the number of applications that become available to the customers is going to be greater. So I think that's a great solution using that. So, but yeah. Other than that, it's just a little bit of a learning curve. I mean, it's, you know, one of the other important things to remember, and there's a lot of hardware compatibility questions as well, is, and I like to convey Emmanuel's message about this, is that both No Touch OS and IGEL OS are based on Linux. So the underlying architecture of both platforms is very similar. There are, you know, learning differences, UI differences, but at the end of the day, it's the same OS with just a better look and feel. Hence the reason I go back to saying the merge of the two companies, I think, is going to be a great answer for everybody.
Yeah. Also, maybe it's worth to mention, IGEL OS 12 you can install honestly on the machine that only has 2 GB of RAM and 4 GB of disk space, right? Now, would I recommend that? No. Why? Because the moment you start or try to offload, you know, video in some of the maybe AVD environment, you know, maybe Zoom, Teams, or so on and so forth, you know, you will hit a little bit of a struggle. But absolutely, we have multiple use cases where IGEL OS 12 is run on the 2 GB of RAM hardware with some of the applications that you know, the user experience is enough, right? Let's put it that way, right? Maybe you are using some kind of sessions, maybe browser sessions that does not require any video or audio offloading. Absolutely, you would. Why not use those underpowered devices, right? And so on and so forth. So there's the thing, right? Now, when you send object or maybe some settings, is the reboot required? No, because when you send the profile, it is the registration or registration key configuration, right? So device does not need to be rebooted. You can do it off on the fly whilst people are working on the device. Where the reboot of the device is required when you send the new application, right? This is the important part, right? Because, and oh, by the way, you can send the new application, the new version of the application, even when the device is, even when the users are in the session, because it will download parallelly and it will create the parallel partition on your hard drive, but that partition needs to be activated during the reboot. So you can update or send the updates during the working hours, and then schedule a reboot overnight if you want to, you know, update your Edge web browser to new version, or your base OS, IGEL OS to new version, and so on and so forth, right? This is the cool thing with the update of IGEL OS, because they are not rewriting the partitions, right? They are creating new one, activate the new version, and deactivate the old one, right? That's super different that we had in the past when, as I said, we were kind of on a firmware-based model when everything needs to be rewritten and all of the partition needs to be deleted and recreated, right? Other settings, right? Like 99% of the settings will absolutely not require the reboot, or even will not disconnect the users from the session, right? Again, some of the customization stuff, if you went deep in because it's Linux and you can do a lot with the scripting, then absolutely we are talking about the reboot.
So Ivan, I have one question. Is there a way how we can show if we want to update an application, how this is done? Maybe.
So if we release the new version of the application, right? Mm-hmm. The new version of the application, UMS will automatically tell you that there is a new version in the application portal, right? So you can actually set, oh yeah. I actually I want to import the new version of the application, right? Then what will give us this, when we import the application, this will give us the possibility actually to upgrade every device with a new version, or manually assign new version to some of the test devices, right? So you can always go to your device or to your directory, right? And you can always assign application version that you have imported, right? If I have multiple versions of application, I can choose it and just send it to that whole directory, or just to one device. Or if I am okay with the new version already, because I tested in some other environment, I will just switch default version and then send that information to every single device in my organization, and they will see, oh, there is a new version of the application. I need to collect the binaries, I need to collect the new partition from app.igel.com, or from the UMS, or from some of the file repositories if you want to set it up in your network. All depends on how you choose as an IT admin, right? Now, because the device is registered to the UMS server, right? We are not giving end users capability or possibility to update their environment when they want, right? We are the ones that are dictating when the new applications will be sent and which version of the applications will be sent to those devices, right? VPNs. Let's answer those questions. So, as Rich answered some of the questions, we are working directly with the vendors, for example, with Palo Alto, for them to create global protect for IGEL OS, right? I don't have exact date yet, but we are working with them. It's not only Palo Alto, the other vendors are right now in the mix of creating their applications, and now we are testing and validating, is everything okay? In the past, what we did, you always had as a customer possibility to grab Linux libraries for any single application there is, right? And create what we called custom partition, right? That we called in the past. Basically, there was a script and there was a process how you can wrap the libraries of any Linux application and how you can deliver that to IGEL OS. With that process, we were able to create FortiVPN, a Checkpoint VPN, Palo Alto, this and that, and so on and so forth, right? With OS 12, that same process still exists, And if you go to IGEL Academy, no, sorry, not IGEL Academy, IGEL Community GitHub, there is a lot of custom partitions that are, kind of how to with the scripts and so on and so forth, right? And you can create them for OS 12 as well. But what we want to go, or we want to give you, is actually smoother or better way to create your own OS 12 applications, right? And for that, we do have IGEL Application Creator Portal. And basically what it is, it kind of needs three things. It needs the libraries for that application. For example, libraries for LibreOffice if you want to run a Linux version of the Office locally on the device. It may be libraries for Cisco VPN, if you Linux libraries for Cisco VPN, if you already have them, and so on and so forth, right? Then you need to have the recipe. Recipe is actually kind of the set of instructions for IGEL OS, what to do with that application. So if you have the recipe for specific application, you're golden, you're good to go, right? You as an IGEL customer, customer with the license, you can go to IGEL Application Creator Portal. You can get, for example, a recipe from the IGEL GitHub, or if you're brave enough, you can create a recipe by your own. Bring those libraries for that Linux application, and then you can run and sign that application with your certificate or with IGEL Community certificate, and you have IGEL OS 12 application that you can easily import to UMS server and send to the devices. So if you have a Linux custom application that is actually not part of the IGEL application portal, or will never be part of the application portal because of this or that reason, there is also a way how you can create IGEL application by your own, for your own needs, right? Of course, that application that you create for yourself will only work in your devices that are in your environment and for your UMS server, right? So once you have that IPKG file, when you create that application, and oh, by the way, in kb.igel.com, there is a great article how to create some of the custom application. I think there was a community meetup as well during the now and next. We always have at least 2 sessions about how to create the recipes and custom applications and so on and so forth, because it's a big topic, right? Nevertheless, there is a knowledge on how to do it. Once you have that application, that custom IPKG file, you can easily upload that custom application to the UMS server. It will be in the list, and you can assign that application to your devices, right? So yes, IGEL OS is really secure and tight and read-only, and in theory, by your own, you can't do much, but there is absolutely a way how you can customize and manage and deploy, everything out of the box, everything beyond out of the box, right? Especially with, as I said, with the scripts, and as Rich said, it's a Linux, right? At the end, so the scripts and the tools and the learnings that you and the knowledge that you obtain during the managing the Stratodesk OS, you can also reuse some of those tips and tricks on IGEL OS as well, because again, it is the Linux. You just need to go through the basic differences between IGEL OS and Stratodesk as well, right?
Hey, Ivan.
So Ivan,
we had a related question.
Ivan, there was also a question: can we schedule things or automate things like the updates of applications? Or
absolutely. So you can definitely, and we have jobs and scheduled tasks in the UMS server which can send a specific set of commands during the different time periods, right? Or you can, and of course, you can then also with the profiles, you can schedule when those devices can maybe update or download those applications, or even install it. Meaning, you know, I will download the new version of the operating system during the working hours, because I don't care, right? I have enough bandwidth, and all of my devices can download the application. It can be on the hard drive, and then you can schedule that reboot, that kind of installation period, when nobody's using the device overnight, and so on and so forth. We do have services locally on the device that you can, you know, trigger to do something at the different, you know, time of the week, and so on and so forth. So there is a vast possibility to schedule from the UMS server, or even from the device itself, right? And all of those settings you can send from the UMS server, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me see. Are there different kernel versions for legacy clients?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you have in the application portal, our version of the operating system will always have the different kernel versions, right? Now, it's up to you to test which version of the IGEL OS is working with you, but I have quite old devices, quite old, almost thin client devices, because they are thin clients because, you know, they have flash drive of 8 gigabytes of 8 gigabytes of flash, and, you know, 2 gigabytes of the RAM, and the CPU is quite old, and my OS 12, well, Linux kernel is supporting that device. I can boot IGEL OS 12 and play with it, or run the web browser, and so on and so forth. So yeah, but we are always trying to keep up with the latest kernel, so we can have support for the modern devices as well, right? So, you know, so on my Surface device, I can, you know, I can use my camera, I can use my my touch screen, and so on and so forth.
Yes. Then there was a question about compatible devices. So I guess on IGEL.com we have at the IGEL Ready section an overview about IGEL Ready supported devices. And as Sebastian showed earlier, in the community we have also a compatibility list of community tested devices. So those are the two sources where you can find out if a device is supported, or if you're unsure, you can also always come to the community and ask which device you have, and if someone has tested those devices already. But officially, we have from our IGEL Ready department an official list you can see.
Yeah. So unofficial and official list, right? Now, if your device is not on any of those lists, that does not mean that will not work, right? That only means that none of you know, our QA team didn't obtain that device and went through the process of testing every single feature on it, right? So you can definitely test it and see what's going on. You know, is OS 12 working or not? Now, one of the good or cool things about the OS 12 is not only that, you know, you can connect to your, you know, Omnisa, on AVD or Citrix VDIs, right? You can send those Linux applications locally on that device, right? So, for example, I'm using OS 12 almost, you know, daily, especially when I'm traveling, right? So the local Zoom desktop client is my best friend, right? And also Edge, a local web browser, so I can connect to all of those SaaS applications that I'm using in IGEL, right? We do have TWA possibility, so you can mask progressive web apps as a local application, so you can use them on the IGEL OS as well. So, you know, you can send your users Microsoft Teams, for example, as a progressive web app, right? Of course, it does require internet, so it can connect to your Office 365 account, and so you can access your files in OneDrive and so on and so forth. But possibility is there even to go out of that web browser, look and feel. As our CTO likes to say, I don't like tabs, I like apps. This is why we want to mask as much as tabs from the web browser to progressive web apps, right? Of course, what IGEL also, you can also manage IGEL from your Intune, I always forget the VMware works with one management console, right? So we do have those kind of integrations as well, right? LibreOffice, as I said before, Visual Studio Code, the Linux version, you can package from the application creation portal and send that application locally. What else? 1Password, and so on and so forth, right? So there are some of the applications and utilities that we use offline without the VDI world. But for me, for example, the best use case that I have is, from the web browser, my Edge web browser, with all of my profiles, with all of my settings, with all of my favorites and so on and so forth, Teams Online and Zoom as a local application installed on the IGEL OS.
This is great. Good. We already answered 69 questions, what is immense. So thank you for all the interaction you brought in there. If you have any more questions, now is the last chance, I would say, as we're running close to the 1.5 hours. We have in the meantime questionnaire. So would be great to get some feedback from you if you like to answer this, because this is also giving us some insights. So
by the way, there was a question, I see it as a UD Pocket, right?
Yeah.
If you already have UD Pocket in your drawer somewhere else, right? You can absolutely license UD Pocket with normal IGEL license, right? So UD Pocket will use the same license of any other OS 12 device, right? Now, there is a business continuity UD Pocket that are a little bit separated from that story, right? So do not mix those two together, right? Nevertheless, if you were on some trade show and somebody hand over, UD Pocket, you can absolutely plug it in, update as any other IGEL device. You can send the new version of the operating system. You can send the applications to that UD Pocket and the license file demo, or when you convert your Stratodesk licenses to IGEL licenses, you can license that UD Pocket and use it as a normal device, right? Now, Cortex XDR from Palo Alto, we are working with Palo Alto now on the Prisma browser and on the Global Protect, because those are two most important and most requested applications from Palo Alto, right? And they have in that portfolio a lot of applications. So we are going, slowly through them so they can be supported on IGEL OS.
Yeah, and I can tell you our IGEL Ready department is so busy to working with new partners, existing partners. Sure, we're having an app creator portal, but also our goal is to work together with our partners to get an official version that is officially supported. But we want to give you the flexibility also to create a workaround to test things, and if the official version is ready, that you put it in.
And Renee, as well as there's been a couple of questions about continuity of communications, et cetera, I guess, if you will, put it that way. So what I'd like to say is, if you're not able to reach anybody or haven't heard from anybody, or if you have any follow-up questions, just note that your Stratodesk contacts are going to be the same as they were at IGEL for now. It'll be first.last@igel.com. You can reach out to, you can reach out to Steve, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Paul, whatever, and we'll try to get back to you. Obviously, with the merger and the migration, we've been extremely busy trying to get in touch with everybody and follow up with anybody. So please, if you have questions and you need follow-up, just reach out to us. It may not be the same contact at IGEL, but we'll get you to the right people. So.
Yeah, and as we showed earlier, The community is your hub. So if you, no matter what time is it, if you have any question, feel free to type it in the community. As we started nearly 7 years ago, it was, I would say, a support community. This isn't the case anymore. So the community is a place where you get answers, where you get the contacts, the right contacts, also input. So if you're saying, hey, I'm a healthcare customer, and how did other customers put this to life, or which use case you ever have, get some feedback from others. So I would love to keep the momentum, to keep the energy we had today in this meeting, and see a lot of you in the IGEL community. And as I said, I would love to create follow-up meetups where we discuss deep dives, topics you are interested. Maybe if this is a topic with the app creator portal, we can do a follow-up meetup. We can create videos, or if you're based in Europe or you like to travel to Germany, I can guarantee you also in Frankfurt in November, the event is fantastic, or you attend IGEL on tour events also in the city nearby. I think we're good now. I see 72 answered questions. I'd like to thank you to my speakers here today, who did a fantastic job, in my opinion. I also want to thank you, all the people that attended here, asked so many questions. I hope we could answer most of them. As I said, I hope to see you in the community and see you in one of the next meetups. Have a great day, and thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.